The blizzard of new coronavirus rules plunged into fresh chaos today as not even the Prime Minister could get them right. Boris Johnson mangled England's rule of 6 when questioned by a journalist, wrongly suggesting it only applies indoors. That is incorrect. Gatherings of more than 6 people are banned both indoors and outdoors in England. The PM was also unable to give further detail on how our new legal ban on meeting other households, which applies in the northeast of England from midnight, will work for pub, beer gardens or outdoor terraces. Mr Johnson later said sorry, tweeting, "Apologies, I misspoke today." It came hours after neither a minister nor the PM's official spokesman were unable to explain key details of the Northeast indoor meetings ban. Deputy Labour leader Angela Rayner said, "For the Prime Minister to not understand his own rules is grossly incompetent. These new restrictions are due to come into force across huge parts of the country tonight. The government needs to get a grip." Newcastle City Council leader Nick Forbes blasted, "You can't just bluster your way through situations like this. Making it up as you go has massive consequences, confuses people and undermines the very public health goals both local and central government are trying to achieve." The ban on indoor meetings in the Northeast was one of a string of laws announced by the government yesterday, with no prior approval by MPs. People in Durham, Gateshead, Newcastle, North Tyneside, South Tyneside, Northumberland and Sunderland will be committing a crime from midnight tonight if they meet people from other households in any indoor setting. But despite Health Secretary Matt Hancock announcing the move yesterday, it was initially unclear if pub, beer gardens or restaurant terraces would count. Asked if it would apply to outdoor areas at pubs and restaurants, Chichester MP Ms Keegan told the BBC, "I'm sorry, I can't clarify that." And asked on Sky News about the rules in different areas, she replied, "I'm not an expert." Asked how normal people are meant to keep up with the rules when even she can't as a government minister, she replied, "I don't represent the Northeast." The Department of Health and Social Care then clarified the situation at about 11:30 a.m. It will not be illegal to meet people from other households in outdoor pub and restaurant areas in the Northeast, but it will be against guidance. Those who meet other households indoors, including at a pub or restaurant, can be fined £200 for a first offence, doubling on each repeat offence to a cap of £6,400. There will be a string of exemptions, for instance for childcare, fleeing harm, or meetings for work or education. Mr Johnson was asked about the confusing rules in a press conference about improving England's skills amid the pandemic. He replied, "On the rule of 6, outside the areas such as the Northeast, where extra measures have been brought in, it's 6 inside, 6 outside. And in the Northeast or other areas where extra tight measures have been brought in, you should follow the guidance of the local authorities. But it is 6 in a home, 6 in hospitality, but as I understand it, not 6 outside." That is the situation there. Mr Johnson's first statement, that the rule of 6 applies outdoors, was correct. His other statement, that the rule of 6 does not apply outdoors, was incorrect. His claim that people should follow local council's guidance could also prompt anger, because council leaders in the North East weren't told about the legal change until they saw it in the House of Commons. Gateshead Council's leader said the change, which converts what was already guidance into a criminal law, was chaotic. The PM later apologised, tweeting, "In the North East, new rules mean you cannot meet people from different households in social settings indoors, including in pubs, restaurants and your home. You should also avoid socialising with other households outside. This is vital to control the spread of coronavirus and keep everyone safe. If you are in a high-risk area, please continue to follow the guidelines from local authorities." It comes amid wider Tory anger about the government bringing in new criminal laws around coronavirus with no prior approval before MPs, or even bothering to tell them about it. It is now illegal to force your enemies into isolation by pretending you went to the pub with them. So what are the rules? England's laws are split into two types: national laws and local lockdown laws. The national law is the rule of 6. This means you cannot gather in groups of more than 6 people, including children, either indoors or outdoors. There is also a national 10 p.m. curfew on pubs and restaurants. However, if you are one of more than 10 million people in local lockdown areas including Newcastle, Liverpool, Manchester and Birmingham, the rule of 6 is overridden by stricter laws in your area. These vary from one city to the next, but generally ban home visits between people of different households. In many local lockdown areas, but not all, indoor gatherings in public venues like pubs are banned too, either in guidance or law. Check the local lockdown rules for your area in England here. All of the above restrictions can lead to a £200 fine, where they are written into law. You'll get a £4,000 fine on a first offence for recklessly leaving isolation. You can be fined for hiding your family from test and trace, or failing to keep your teenager at home when they should self-isolate. Workers can be fined £50 for failing to tell a boss they are self-isolating, and pub landlords can be fined £1,000 if they allow dancing by punters or play music louder than 85 decibels. Tory MP Steve Baker compared the situation to George Orwell's dystopian novel 1984. Police only need to suspect someone has broken the law to issue a fine, and the only route of appeal is to fight a criminal case in a magistrate's court. Tory MPs want to bring a vote in the Commons tomorrow to force future coronavirus laws to go through parliamentary scrutiny. But while the PM is discussing a compromise, it's thought the vote itself may not be held due to the detail of Commons rules. Mr. Johnson made the comments as he promised free college courses to thousands of adults without an A-level equivalent qualification in England. Currently, these courses are free up to the age of 23. From April, older adults without an A-level or equivalent qualification will be offered a free, fully funded college course in England and can study at a time and location that suits them. However, it will only be available for courses which are shown to be valued by employers. A full list of available courses under the new offer is due next month. Higher education loans will also be made more flexible, allowing adults and young people to space out study across their lifetime. There will also be more apprenticeships, especially in technical areas. The PM said, "We've got to end the pointless nonsensical gulf that has been fixed for generations, more than 100 years, between the so-called academic and the so-called practical varieties of education. It's absurd to talk about skills in this limited way. Everything is ultimately a skill, a way of doing something faster, better, more efficiently, more accurately, more confidently, whether it is carving, or painting, or bricklaying, or writing, or drawing, or mathematics, Greek philosophy. Every single study can be improved, not just by practice but by teaching. So now is the time to end this bogus distinction between fe and he.